It's Thursday, October 11, 2018. I have chainsaw, some motor outside my apartment. I don't know why. It's just making a lot of noise. But it's like, so if you hear a rumbling, that's what it is. It's somebody pressure washing a building or something. Stop it. But they won't. I can't tell them to stop it because I want to film a show. But welcome to V10 Sports and my Week 6 NFL predictions. Once again, rules are simple. I just look at the games and I predict. I don't study. I don't do anything. I've been watching football a long time. And when you study, you overthink. I don't like to overthink this anymore. I just like to go, okay, these are the teams. This is the matchup. This is who's at home. This is who's favored. This is who should win and who I think will win. And I still do terrible. When I overthought I did terrible, when I do it now, I still do terrible. The NFL this year has been very tough to predict. But let's get into this. Philadelphia, the Giants. Philadelphia has been a huge disappointment. I thought this team was built way better than this. I thought that this team was built better to be a defending champion, better than a lot of the recent teams, even those Patriot teams that defend. So I thought Philadelphia, they bolstered the defense. I thought getting Carson Wentz back, I thought this team at this point would be undefeated. For them to be 2-3 and be pathetic is pretty bad. The Giants also, I thought the Giants would be way better, but Eli Manning is done. OBJ basically called him out in a nice way, and I agree with OBJ. Eli Manning's done. He is not the same quarterback. OBJ said something about, he goes, I'd like to catch a go route, something deep. I'd like to really stretch my legs, but instead, I keep only getting this underneath stuff because that's as far as Eli can throw accurately. So the problem is Eli's done. I mean, this is the end for Eli. His arm strength's not the same. His awarenesses doesn't seem to be the same. And I mean, it looks like we're going to lose the last of the Manning clan. Probably this year should be his last year. I don't even know if he should finish this year. If you got somebody on the bench that might be better, put him in. But Eli's in this game. Philadelphia needs this win. The Giants have a little of an internal struggle. And maybe they're just not as good of a team as I thought. And Eli is way worse than I thought. I thought Eli might have a little bit of a bounce back year and play slightly better because he had Saquon Barkley and OBJ would be back, and they added some weapons for him. They added a left tackle for him. They've added other worse receivers, and it's just not happening. They're giving all this stuff to Eli Manning, and he still can't do it. Philadelphia's favored by 1 over the Giants. I'm going to take Philadelphia. We're going to move on to Sunday's games. The Rams are at Denver. The Rams are getting 7 at Denver. I'll give them 21. The Rams are going to destroy the Broncos. And it's not because the Broncos don't have a good team. I do believe that there are good players on that team. Case Keenum, I think, is a decent quarterback, but you have Demaryius Thomas, you have Sanders, you have running backs like Lindsey and Freeman who are young running backs but play pretty well. I think the offensive line is a little bit better, but it's like whatever's happening downfield, it's like the offensive play calling is pedestrian at best. It's not tricking anybody. It's not imaginative. It's, and nobody's being fooled. Defense, same thing. Joe Wood, who's the defensive coordinator, he's calling very vanilla defenses. You've got Von Miller, Bradley Chubb, you got Derek Wolfe, you got Chris Harris, you got Bradley Roby. You've got some really good players on that team. Domino Pecco. You got really good players on that team, and the defense is getting scorched. And I don't know why. And it's because they're calling very bland, vanilla defenses. It's like our former defensive coordinator, who is now the Rams defensive coordinator, I think, or is the Chargers, but Wade Phillips was very imaginative. Even for an older guy, he was very imaginative and very aggressive with his defense. Denver needs that back, and Joe Wood doesn't seem to be that guy. And Vance Joseph, it seems like every week we're getting out-coached. It might be time for Vance Joseph to go. He should have went last year. Tampa Bay at Atlanta. Tampa Bay is now the team I thought they were. Fitzmagic, it's done. Jameson is not as good as they hoped. I'll take Atlanta. Pittsburgh at Cincinnati. Cincinnati's favored by 2. This is a trap game, I believe, for the Bengals. I'm going to take the Steelers in this game. The LA Chargers at Cleveland. I'm going to go Cleveland. I think that the Chargers still mess with me. But I'm going to go Cleveland at home. If this was in Los Angeles, I would take the Chargers. Buffalo at Houston. I don't know how, Buffalo won last week. I really don't. But I'm going to take Houston. I wouldn't take 10 points. I don't think Houston's a 10-point favorite over Buffalo, but I still take Houston. Chicago is over Miami. Miami had one good game. They have fallen back to the back of the pack. Chicago is better. Their defense is better. Trubisky threw 6 touchdown passes last week. He won't need quite that many to beat Miami, but I'm going to take Chicago to beat Miami in Miami. Even though Miami is a tough place to play because of how hot and muggy it is sometimes. It's a tough place to play. People talk about Mile High Stadium being a tough place to play because of the altitude. I believe Miami is a tough place to play because of the humidity and how muggy it can get. Arizona at Minnesota. Minnesota's getting 10. I'll take that bet. Minnesota to win that game by 10. Indianapolis at the Jets. The Jets are not as good as the Broncos made them look last week, but the Jets are at home. Indianapolis still needs a lot of help for Andrew Luck, and I'll take the Jets at home. Seattle at Oakland. Oakland, they've got to win. Good for them. They should have won last week, but they didn't play well at all. They really let the Chargers just kind of smack them around. Seattle played pretty well against the Rams. Will that continue this week in Oakland? Seattle's favored. I'm going to go with Oakland at home. Carolina at Washington. I ain't giving Washington this game. No way. Carolina's a better team. Washington, I'm sorry, I still don't believe in Alex Smith. Not even a little bit. I don't believe in Captain Checkdown. I believe Carolina has enough defense and enough Cam Newton to win this game. Jacksonville at Dallas. Jacksonville going to Dallas, I think, is also a trap game for Jacksonville. They're favored. They're favored in Dallas. Jacksonville is. I'm rooting for Jacksonville to win. But I think Dallas finds a way to eke out the victory here. Baltimore at Tennessee. Baltimore favored by 2.5. Tennessee is another team. I think they're 3-2 at this point, and Baltimore's 3-2. Baltimore took a hurt loss up against Cleveland. Do they bounce back in Tennessee against Tennessee? This game is going to tell me right now if Tennessee is really for real, if this is a team we should watch. If they win this game, then I think they're a team that we got to watch going forward. If they lose this game, they're the same old Tennessee Titans. They're going to be 7-9 to 9-7, somewhere in there. They'll be an okay team, average. So I'm going to take Baltimore until Tennessee proves they can beat this. If they can beat this team, I'll start to believe that Tennessee might be for real. Then you're going to get Kansas City at New England. Oh my gosh, I don't know what to think about this one. Patrick Mahomes playing the way he's playing, but Tom Brady and the Patriots have played pretty dang well the last 2 weeks themselves. In New England, Kansas City, for some reason, seems to play pretty well against New England. They always beat them, but they give them a run for their money. Now they've got Patrick Mahomes in there going up against Tom Brady. I'm gonna say that Belichick and his coaching staff find a way to scheme against Mahomes and give him a little bit of trouble, and New England will put enough points on the board to win this game. 3.5 is probably a good line. I think it'll probably be for a field goal. And that'll take us to the Monday night game, San Francisco at Green Bay. Green Bay's not playing that well. San Francisco's definitely not playing good with just C.J. Beathard in there. Green Bay all day long. So, there are the picks. Once again, just off the top of my head, I just look at them and I go. So, those are the picks that I am choosing. Some of them are a little questionable, but that's okay because the NFL season so far has been questionable. With all that being said, to the troops, past, present, and future, thanks for the freedom.